Hi, everyone, and welcome to the board meeting this evening. Today's date is December 9th, 2025, and it's currently 6 p.m. We are calling the meeting to order at 6 p.m. First, we would like the board to introduce themselves. I'll go first, and then I'll turn it over to them and letting everybody know we only currently have 2 board members in attendance. And so we are not able to make or pass motions because we do not have a quorum. We will be discussing items, reports, and see if Christian shows up in time for new business. I will go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Jo Lind. This is my name in ASL. And I am the vice president for the current board and the chair currently running the meeting today. Jeanette? Hi, my name is Jeanette. This is my name in ASL. Just letting everybody know that we do not currently have a president's report. We do have some news to report, however. I am the vice president and I will be sharing my report. Sorry, I wanted to apologize. My camera, I'm using the laptop camera right now. I see that it's a little bit blurry. I'm so sorry for that. My computer camera is not working, so I'm using my laptop camera. As vice president, I am the one in charge of running this meeting today. We also were recently informed that our past president, Anna, has submitted a letter of resignation. That was submitted on November 6th at 4:01. She has officially resigned as president of the board. We do not currently have a serving president, which we will discuss in more detail in just a moment. I also just wanted to say thank you so much, Anna, for your time serving as president, for your leadership, for your support with all of the new board members that we've had, and just helping us to understand how the board runs and functions and our responsibilities from here on out. Also, Jeanette is going to be taking the secretary role today, so she will be taking notes for this meeting. We do not currently have a secretary, and so Jeanette will be serving in that capacity today. Also wanted to spread the word that we are actively recruiting more board members. And we currently are down to 4 board members. We have 2 deaf board members and 2 hearing board members, which puts that 50-50. So we need to have, according to the bylaws, we need to have a 51-49 split of deaf and hearing board members. So we are currently recruiting more board members, specifically those who are deaf. I have spoken to some community members who have said that they would prefer if the board meetings were in person, which does bring up the issue in terms of people from out of town or from our outreach offices, such as Salinas, Visalia, Merced, if we do have in-person meetings in Fresno. So we are not able to currently make a vote on that because we do not have a quorum this evening to be able to have a motion and a vote. But we would like to discuss this further in terms of having in-person meetings so that those from the community who do not want to watch on Zoom and would rather attend in person, we could do that. We may have to be creative and have 2 meetings on Zoom, 2 meetings in person, because we have our quarterly meetings. We could do hybrid possibly for those who are not able to attend in person. They could watch on Zoom. There are several possibilities there. Also, we tend to have elections for our 4 main board roles. Currently, though, again, we are had a suggestion, and hopefully the board will be able to vote. We have to vote on this first when we have a quorum, but we're hoping to have elections on January 20th at DHHSC in person at 6 p.m. It is a Tuesday evening, again, January 20th, and we will talk to the board. The board will talk and decide for sure. Once that's voted on, we will get the word out if that is going to be held in person January 20th at 6 p.m. We will do elections for filling these vacancies. And then also, Alexandra, do you want to go ahead? I totally forgot. I'm so sorry if you wanted to show the agenda. Right, we're not approving the agenda. We cannot vote, take any votes. Okay, thank you. Yeah, this agenda, of course, cannot be approved, voted, or approved because we do not have a quorum. If Christian does attend, we will backtrack and do that accordingly. It's also very important that we are letting the community know that we are actively recruiting people to apply to become board members. And we also want to spread the news that we also want members who are interested in right now. Okay, right now we only have very small numbers. We only have four, and the concern is that if somebody else were to resign, or if it gets even smaller, then DHHSC operations would be under concern. So we want to actively recruit members and make sure that we are able to share our vision, and people who will share our vision for the community and the agency. Also, for anyone who is qualified for these roles, we want to make sure that they are able to review the bylaws. And if you don't know where that is, you can go onto the DHHSC website, which is dhhsc.org. The tab says About Us. Then you will click on Board, go to the board page, and then you'll see bylaws. Click on there, and our DHHSC board bylaws will come up. You can read through those and make sure that you're familiar with the policies and procedures of expectations and duties of the board members and their roles, and make sure that we're able to operate accordingly. Please also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If I don't know the answer, I will find somebody who does and get back to you. We really just want all of the board members to be familiar with the bylaws so that we can abide by them. So please feel free to take a look at those just to get a better idea of how the board is run. Another thing I cannot do right now because we don't have a quorum, but I am hoping that we are able to discuss some verbiage in the bylaws. So just recently, right, we did have a president before who had been president, and then they termed out. We had a new president, and then another new president, and currently we do not have a president. So we've gone through four presidents in 1 year. We need to figure out how we're able to rearrange some things in the bylaws in terms of verbiage. If the temporarily to be able to support the board and training and all of that to prepare the board for additional roles. I understand that the previous president was going to also be doing that, and then the president resigned, and then that moved into the next president, and that president resigned. So right, we currently do not have a president, and we are hoping that we will be able to have something in the bylaws saying that the past president can temporarily or interim still serve to be able to support and train the board members to facilitate accordingly. Again, we don't have anything there, and we can't vote on anything tonight anyway because we don't have a quorum, but hopefully we'll be able to get that out to the board to discuss that further and in more detail about how we want to go about that. For the secretary's report, we currently do not have a secretary, so we don't have a report. The treasurer's report, Christian's not here. Alex is saying no. So Viriana is going to go ahead and share the treasurer's report.
Okay, hello everyone. One second. We're gonna start with this report because Christian is not here. Do you mind pulling up the executive director's report real quick?
Okay, as you'll see in this report, our checks and balances as of November 30th, we are at 2,184. I'll have to I'll look again, but then after that, it says for accounts receivable grants, that is negative $240,034.53. That is, I'm not worried about that because that is for grants like EDD and DSS first five that we have until we have more accounts receivables to turn in to be able to get those monies, which it is normal standard practice to have that number at this time of year. For the accounts receivables, interpreting, you'll see as of October 31st, it is also negative. And again, we are still trying to get those monies from past invoices and getting those paid down, which they will. Which means that we have 716,000, and all in total, we should be able to catch up in everything by January. These totals, again, will be caught up by January. For profits, $26,822 as of October 30th. And now that we know more about DSS and the status of DSS, I will go into more detail. DSS is the Department of Social Services, which we refer to as DSS. For the grants awarded 2025 for 2025, 2026, it was 1,086,300, rough estimate $308, and we have spent $269,331 and some cents. That is what we have spent. We have $817,016.81 unspent, and we will see those additional monies be used by April. And that is the treasurer's report in a snapshot. Okay. Very says turning it back over to Joe. Joe said now we're moving on to the executive director's report.
Okay, so now for the executive director's report. Let me just kind of talk about budget updates. I'll take this minute for that. We recently did our Valley Deaf Festival fundraiser, and we were able to raise some money for that. So we just want to thank everybody for their support this year. It was about 464 people that attended our event, which was good. It was very good. We were surprised there was rain, so we knew that attendance would be less, but it seemed like no, not actually happening. This year we had 464 people. That was great. We were very relieved. So with food sales totaling $1,460.50, that was good. And then the food sales, that was the snack bar. We had different items. So that was how much we collected there. And then we had the expenses of $609.78. So our grand total of raising was $850.72 profit. And that was good. We did make that profit. We didn't profit very much the previous few years. So hopefully we'll continue to increase that next year as well. Next, we'll talk about Giving Tuesday. Hashtag Giving Tuesday or just Giving Tuesday. That was December 2nd this year. And we tried to reach out all day to people and ask them to give to us. And so we were able to raise $125. So compared to last year, I mean, it was low. We did profit $122.53 of that because we did have a fee taken out of $2.47. So yeah, we were able to collect $122 from that. And this year is my very first time being executive director. So I've been, focusing on Valley Deaf Festival and lots of other things. And so Giving Tuesday kind of snuck up on me. So we're hoping to make some changes and some adjustments next year so that we can focus a little bit more on Giving Tuesday to bring in more money. We're going to be looking for lots of ideas. We're going to figure out ways to kind of collectively raise more. It seemed like this year we weren't really motivated or successful. So we'll get back to that next year. We're definitely excited to see what ideas we can come up with from everybody. The next thing on my list is talking about funding. We're applying for funding again through the Stevenson Philanthropy. That's this January. So we're going to apply again and for United Way as well for for Tulare County. And that's going to be happening in January. And the other thing that we're going to apply for, the other grant, is through Sierra Bank. So those are the three grants that we're going to be applying for coming up soon. And we're going to work on a team to work as a team to fill out those grants to bring in some more money for us. So that's it for budget updates. At this point, we don't have any staffing updates to share. Everything has remained the same as far as staffing goes. After staffing updates comes compliance issues, concerns, but at this point we have no issues. We are in compliance with everything. We've been doing our needed trainings, our annual HIPAA, FWA. We're doing all of those things. We're keeping up to date on all of that. Next, we'll talk about the agency updates. And our diversity and culture event, we partnered on November 1st. We partnered with Hodor Latinx for a Dia de los Muertos event. And we have some ideas for next year as well to continue that. We're hoping to keep doing that and improve it. We did have 38 adults and 25 children come. So that was good numbers, but next year I think we can improve. Maybe if we do a little bit more advertising, we can get our numbers up a little bit next year. Also, we talked about Valley Deaf Festival, and every year that does tend to happen during November. And it seemed like we were maybe talking about moving that to a different month. Um, and we haven't really decided exactly when that will be. We'll make an announcement if we do change that. Right now, we're collecting ideas. We're kind of brainstorming on that. And we're going to figure out when we should host that event by surveying our vendors and seeing when they would like to support us, what best works for them. So we'll ask all of them what they think, and we'll just try to figure that out together. Also, I do want to take a minute to recognize the support of our vendors. They have been supporting us in our Valley Deaf Festival for quite a while, and they supported us again this year. So I do want to say a special thank you to Calviva Health, EECU members, CCRID, Sorensen, and the Artist Tree. I just want to recognize that those five sponsors really did come out and support us, and we are very appreciative of that. And so the staff got together and we were trying to come up with new ideas for Valley Deaf Festival next year. And we were trying to come up with a theme. And so we voted on three themes. And so we're going to announce the theme for next year's event very soon. And we're excited. That's something to look forward to. So that's it about Valley Deaf Festival. I do want to share that DHHSC tends to host a holiday party. And the Merced office will host the holiday party. And so people will go there they and have the social event there. Merced office is going to be hosting that again this year, and that's going to be happening on December 20th. Um, yeah, that's correct. And then the Salinas office is going to be hosting on the 13th. So that's coming up very soon. So if you can go to that one, we've got Visalia, Merced, Salinas, they're all going to be hosting their parties. And I forgot about Fresno. So we are also going to be hosting our party on December 17th. And that's a Wednesday. So yeah, next Wednesday. So hopefully if you're around, you can come and enjoy those holiday parties. And those holiday parties just really give us a chance to engage with the community and come together, share memories, and just talk about ways that we appreciate each other and our families and bring everybody together in one place. And so the last item to let you know about is we previously applied to community group visits program, and that's at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. They have a program where each organization can bring a group of people there to visit the aquarium itself for free. It's up to 10 visits per year, and you just pick the date, and then you bring a group of people, and you can have up to 125 people at a time, 175 people at a time. We're going to start with Monterey Bay Aquarium. The first group to go will be from the Salinas area. And so the staff will host the event and take everybody up there. And so we're super excited to announce that that's going to happen. And we're going to be hosting those events soon. So definitely be looking forward to that. And I did forget to add one thing from the agenda. This Friday, again, we've partnered with the schools for the
Silence,
silent
silent sleigh.
silent sleigh. So we're hosting that event with different schools this year. So that's going to be coming up soon. And I think that that's it for the ED report.
What time is silent sleigh?
Silent Sleigh is beginning 9 o'clock. I think it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 9 o'clock.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda is new business and or old business. We had talked about things from the last meeting we had voted on. We also mentioned the board had agreed that all communication, any motions, any voting that had been done and that will be documented to ensure that everything is documented, even if it's on text or email, it will all be documented so the community is aware of exactly where we're at, where we voted, how we voted, and all of that. And we will be able to have that again all documented in the appropriate folders online. We want to be transparent, plus we want to be held accountable for the board and what the board is doing so that everyone is aware of exactly what the board is working on. The last meeting, we already did vote and approve for a new transparency agreement, saying that from here on out, we will continue to be transparent as explained in the agreement. For new business, I can inform you what is on the agenda. However, we will not be having any motions or voting without a quorum. The first one is that the board needs someone who is willing. We need a secretary, someone who's willing to take notes and or takes minutes and have those available because as vice president, I'm not able to run the meetings and also take minutes. So we need somebody. Thank you again to Jeanette for being willing to do that today. And we also need to discuss and vote on that. But again, we cannot vote today without a quorum. We had also planned to talk and approve the old minutes from the meeting in October, which again, we cannot do because um, we don't have a quorum. So I will go ahead and send those out to the board to be reviewed, and we will vote. And once they are approved, we will document that and post them on the agenda. And that was it for new business in terms of what action we can take because we again don't have a quorum this evening. Alex, any comments, questions from the community on YouTube? Alex is saying no, no comments online from the public. Okay, and Joe is saying if anybody who is watching would like to make a comment, we can wait a few minutes for that. And then somebody had just asked about Silent Sleigh, and I said it's a private event for K-12 students. Is Christian here? No. Okay. All right. I guess, Jeanette, is there anything you would like to add? Jeanette is saying no. All right. I'm so sorry that we don't have a quorum this evening to take any action, but letting you know that we do plan again January 20th in person to do elections. Again, that's January 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at DHHSC headquarters in Fresno. And we will also send out that information. We can create a vlog and a flyer to spread the word to get that out so we can get a good number of attendees. And we're hoping to recruit additional board members and hoping to restart receiving applications soon. Again, we are down to 4 board members, which is the 2 deaf board members, 2 hearing board members, which is 50-50. According to our bylaws, we need to have 51% of deaf members and 49% hearing. So we do need to also do elections for a new president. We are electing as well as new secretary. So hopefully we can be able to get that out for our new board to start working. And we are hoping to also discuss face-to-face meetings, which again, we cannot vote on tonight without a quorum. That's all I have this evening. Jeanette, anything? Very anything? Very, did you have anything? Very said, yeah, I wanted to clarify about Silent Sleigh. Just really quick, Silent Sleigh is a private event. It has always been a private event. And Silent Sleigh again is for school-aged deaf and hard of hearing children to get together. It is not open to the public. And again, it is only for K-12 deaf and hard of hearing students and their families. You must pre-register. So I was just really just announcing it as something that our organization is involved in, not as an invitation for the public to attend. So I wanted to clarify that. Thank you. Joe saying, okay, I guess this meeting is adjourned. It is currently 6:35. 6:35. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.